The gloves are out.
The gloves are out.
After that weekend, the gloves are out. You know, like Mike's the West
for
Ham.
both of us. I don't have any gloves, but I don't know.
The gloves are out. But, however, I have to take them off because Champions League night, we did take the gloves off, even though it was at night. But welcome everyone to Year of the Bird. Obviously talking about Newcastle and Spurs. And obviously, big week, somewhat, the past games and then the upcoming game on Saturday, I think, for both of, well, actually Sunday for us. But yeah, how you feel, Charlie?
Yeah, 10, big up 10. Big up to the chat. Big up to everyone watching on both channels. Subscribe to both if you haven't already. It is being streamed across both channels. But yeah, just a quick update as well. I just want to apologize to everyone on my channel about the lack of uploads. I've been sick this past week. I'm still not 100%, but you know, back on the show, back on the channel now. Hopefully now, you know, I'll be able to get content out. So yeah, you know, apologies for the lack of uploads, but we are back live here for Year of the Bird. So of course with 10, look, both of us in the mud over the weekend. However, both bounced back in the Champions League, which we'll talk about, of course. But yeah, big up to 10. And like I said, guys, subscribe to both if you haven't already. Get your thoughts in the chat about everything Spurs and Newcastle that we talk about. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and obviously this is going to be we'll probably start with the gloves on first.
Gloves on, yeah.
Yeah, gloves
I think
on.
we need the gloves on.
But I'll let you talk about Tottenham, Chelsea while I prepare my gloves for the game after this. Tottenham, Chelsea, João Pedro, and barely saw anything of Spurs. Apart from not handshaking with Jets. Was it Spence? No, Spence, I think. Spence and Van de Ven after the game.
Yeah, Spence and Van de Ven, yeah.
Yeah. So how you feel about that?
Yeah, obviously Spurs 0, Chelsea 1. Obviously, this is, you know, the first time you guys are seeing my reaction because I wasn't able to do any video about it. So no, I wasn't hiding, I was just sick. So, it is what it is. But yeah, listen, an absolutely disgusting and shameful performance. I mean, what I felt after that game was that, look, you know, there was way too many players that just didn't understand the white shirt on that day. I mean, I understand that, look, you know, we've got 10 players out. We have injuries, blah, blah, blah. I understand that, yes, and this was obviously a massive part of this game, that our forward line is not good enough. A lot of our players are not good enough, especially in that forward line. But at the same time, you know, we still should be doing better than 0.05 XG at home against Chelsea. And by the way, a Chelsea side, I'm not saying they're a bad side or anything, but they have probably the worst goalkeeper in the league. Like, he is awful, Sanchez. And they've got a defense that is leaking goals. I mean, they just let in 2 against Karabag yesterday. Like, you see what I mean? So it's like, not only could we not score, but we couldn't even get a shot away. Like, we had one shot on target, which was Kudus in the first half. Again, Kudus looking the only threatening player somewhat. And even then, he didn't have a good game against Chelsea. So, look, I mean, obviously, dust has settled a lot on that game. Obviously, we've played again since then. But, you know, I felt like the reaction from a lot of fans after about the performance was warranted because it was so bad. The thing that disgusted me the most was the fact that it was a London derby. You know, Chelsea and Arsenal are obviously the two fixtures that we kind of look.
We'll get to Arsenal later this month. Very soon.
Yes, it's not far away. But yeah, what I'm saying is that Arsenal and Chelsea, they're obviously the two main fixtures we look for when the calendar comes out for the season. And ultimately, we were let down again. And look, our record against Chelsea says it all. You know, it's our worst ever. It's our least favorite opponent in Premier League history. We're their favorite opponent. It says it all. You know, this fixture just never, ever seems to go our way. And yes, look, I understand that Chelsea, you know, turn up in these games. And Chelsea, I'll be honest, Chelsea, you know, them only winning 1-0 in that game was shocking because they had multiple chances to go and finish the game.
Apparently 3.68 xG.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let me just get this up because this is absolutely.
How do you have one? Is this probably the worst Tottenham performance against Chelsea?
Well, we've had some bad ones, but I think this one's up there. This one's up there with. I'll tell you what, this one's up there with. Do you remember when we lost 2-0 under Mourinho and stuff when Lampard was at Chelsea? It's up there with that one. Like this one was like just as bad, if not worse, to be honest. I mean, let me just get this up because this is really telling. Like, it's an absolute disgrace what happened. I mean, stats. Here we go. 0.10 xG. Look at that. It's 3 point superior in every metric, every single one. You know, we had 0 big chances. We had 1 shot. We had 3 shots the whole game. Three shots the whole game. Like you can't. This is disgusting. Like, and I'll be honest. Like, look, it's easy for me to sit here all the time and say, yeah, the forwards are not good enough, but everybody knows that. What I'm disappointed in is our whole team. Apart from, I would say, Vicario, who saved us multiple times, and Romero when he came on. Apart from that, every other player was a disgrace. It's as simple as that. And I understand we're not quite, our squad, you know, has a lot of holes and it's not quite good enough in a lot of areas, but you can still turn up and show a bit of heart. You can still turn up and play like it's a London derby, and they didn't do that. And that the thing is what pissed me off the most. And ultimately, we deserve to lose, and it's as simple as that. And you know, in the league at home, you know, I know we've just won at home in the Champions League, which we'll get to, but in the league at home, you know, this has to be some of the worst home form I've seen in my life supporting Spurs, because look, there's been periods where I've sat and said, look, you know, we're decent at home. You know, we're actually, we actually kind of turn up sometimes for the bigger games at home, but it just didn't happen in this game. And ultimately, all season, the home form has been a disgrace. But I said this already, that I'm not, I wasn't surprised necessarily about the home form not being as good as the away form because of the way we prefer to play, which is on the transition with space. But then Chelsea left space. Chelsea attacked us, and we still couldn't do anything with it. And that, for me, is an even bigger concern, ultimately. So, listen, I was pissed. I was so pissed. That performance cannot happen. But the trouble is, I don't see how it changes because we've got 10 injuries. We can't sign anyone. And we're ultimately stuck with a lot of these players that, like I said, mostly talking about the forward line, which we know are not good enough. So it's a problem. It's a big problem. And obviously, look, the whole Spence and Van der Ven thing happened. I mean, it's one of those where I get it, like they're frustrated and everything. And it's just, to be honest, the media's probably made it a whole load of nothing, which was obviously later confirmed. I mean, Frank said they apologized, and that, I mean, Van der Ven said after the Copenhagen game that, you know, it was kind of blown out of proportion and everything. So, look, I mean, I wasn't as caught up on it as some people. I mean, at least it showed they cared. That's the only thing. At least a couple of players cared and actually had some sort of, you know, issue with the performance and everything. I mean, the goal itself, I mean, Spence and Van der Ven were at fault for that goal, funnily enough. That's the funny thing. I mean, it was disgusting defending, and we got away with one a couple of minutes before where Pedro should have scored. He went through, but then we got punished for it. And like I said, you know, yes, 1-0 looks tight, but it wasn't tight. And that's the really, really worrying thing. And the problem is, you know, in these games, I don't see how we score goals. It's as simple as that. And to score goals, to win games, you need to score goals. And we're not scoring goals because we don't have the players that will do anything up front for us. It's as simple as that. And look, when we talk about the manager and stuff, I think fans saying Frank out, I said this already, fans saying Frank out are absolutely ridiculous because Frank has no, you know, Frank has nothing up front to work with. You need to at least give him actual competent forward players to judge him, right? Because I'll be honest, no matter who the manager is, they're not getting a tune out of these forward players. They're not getting a tune out of Richarlison. They're not getting a tune out of Brennan Johnson. They're not getting a tune out of Tell. They're not getting a tune out of any of these players. It doesn't matter who the manager is. So on that basis, Frank, for me, deserves more transfer windows to hopefully get players in that are actually competent, and then we'll see what he does. Then I think it's fairer to judge him. But at the same time, you can critique Frank in certain ways. Like the home form has been shocking. Like there's no excuse for this home form. I mean, we can't even beat Wolves, who I know are a bogey team, but they're bottom of the league. They've just sacked their manager. So, and Bournemouth was a disgusting performance. Chelsea was disgusting as well. Even Villarreal in the Champions League was horrible, even though we won that game. So ultimately, Frank should be doing better in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I think his hands are tied in a lot of ways, just like most managers are when they come to this club. It's as simple as that. And I think with Frank, what he needs to do now is, maybe not right now, but like what he needs to do is he needs to, take some authority and say to the club, I need better players. I cannot work with the current situation. So he needs to do that. He needs to take a stand and demand the club bring in better players. Because if he doesn't, he's kind of accepting it a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Obviously, everybody knows that, it's a bit of a new regime at Spurs with the new board and everything. So we'll see. Ultimately, is the same majority owners. So we'll see kind of how much they've actually changed or not. But the reality is the only way this situation is going to get better is if we get rid of a lot of these players in the forward line and actually start upgrading the squad to where it should be. And listen, what I realized after the Chelsea game as well was that, it's not just about quality. It's clearly a mentality, because Chelsea, I get it. Like they're clearly, like whichever way you want to put it, they're clearly a big issue for us. And I don't know where it started. I don't know. I know historically, even before they had like money and stuff, this was a problem. But it seems like no matter what Tottenham team, no matter what Tottenham manager we put out, the same thing happens against Chelsea, which is not even just losing, but like just an embarrassing performance, an embarrassing game. And this culture, big up to Evolve today, of course, FC25 as well. The only way this is going to change is if we can change the mentality, if we can change the culture. And the mentality isn't going to, what I've learned, and I know this was obvious before, but it kind of hit me after Saturday, was that one man going, obviously in Levy, isn't going to instantly change the culture overnight. It's not going to, because I think what I realized is a lot of people, including myself, kind of got caught up with the fact that, everything's Levy, which it was. Everything started with Levy. That's true. Everything you see, kind of mentality, culture, it started with Levy, of course. But I think what we have to realize is that him going isn't going to instantly change it. His damage is still being felt. And that's with the quality of player we have in areas, plus the mentality. This isn't going to change overnight. And it's going to take a while to actually change this culture. And that's if the new regime that we have actually have the right intentions for the club. And that's obviously very debatable, because it's still Enoch there, and we know they've kind of been there, even so for as long as Levy was there. So we'll have to see on that front. But yeah, the game itself was disgraceful, and you can't forgive that. It's an unforgivable performance, and shameful, just simply shameful. It's as simple as that. Like I said, there's certain things that go beyond quality of player, and what I saw in that Chelsea game was that there was no mentality, there was zero grit. Every single time we had the opportunity to pass the ball forward, pass it back, very scared, all of this stuff. It's not acceptable. It's as simple as that. And it's stuff like that have nothing to do with the quality of player. So, yeah, I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming. It was a completely disgusting game. I mean, I don't know if you watched it or not live, but if you didn't, you're probably lucky, because that was...
Actually, I didn't.
Yeah, you're lucky. It was absolutely disgusting. I mean, what were your thoughts on our loss against Chelsea and that performance?
I even said, what do you call this? I think
you said we'd win. I said we'd draw.
2-1 or something. It makes it even worse.
Yeah, I said we draw.
Especially what I predicted in Copenhagen. We'll talk about later. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably say it might be the worst Tottenham performance this season. I would say
definitely. Yeah, that's the worst. That's even worse than Bournemouth and
Monaco.
Bodo, yeah. But the problem is, here's the thing, Ten. We've had too many of these performances.
Yeah.
We've had way too many. It won't
be the last.
The problem we have is you can count on one hand how many good performances we've had. I'd say probably Man City. I thought that was a great performance. I would say I'm struggling to think. That's the thing.
Maybe.
Leeds, but that wasn't good. That was like okay. That was like
Everton,
okay.
Somewhat. Everton.
Even then, that was okay. Like I said, we still didn't create anything from open play. So I would say Man City is maybe Burnley on the opening day, but it is Burnley, so you kind of take it with a bit of a pinch of salt.
Richarlison.
Yeah, I mean, he found his level clearly in that game. But that's my point. The fact that I'm struggling to think of actual good performances we've had is shocking. On a whole, look, we've generally, we've got a few good results and stuff. But if we continue in this current way, look, people might say, oh, we're, fifth and everything, like we're not far from the top of the table and all of this. But the reality is, if we play, especially with the games we got coming up, if we continue in this way, we're going to slide right down the table. And my worry is I don't see it changing because we can't buy players and injured players aren't close to coming back.
Yeah. And I also feel like I don't think this will be the last.
Neither do I.
I probably expected. I'm not sure who's hosting the North London derby.
Oh, it's them.
Oh, you know who's winning, and you probably are going to expect.
Well, the Emirates. Look, we know that our record at the Emirates. Not quite as bad as Chelsea, but it's still horrendous.
Yeah, you probably if what we saw against Chelsea is I'm not going to say carbon copy. I mean, if it's a carbon copy and worse.
Yeah, we're gonna get slapped in that game.
Yeah. So I don't expect this to be the last of the terrible Tottenham performances.
Bread and circus.
Not a big up to Binny guy as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the one thing probably a bit of concern was Bergvall, I believe, was after 5
minutes. It was a concussion. Yeah. So he. Because of the concussion rules, he has to miss. He missed Copenhagen, and he's going to miss the Man United game. Yeah.
Yeah. But then when Xavi Simons or Simons, that should be his name because honestly,
he did. Well, we'll talk about Copenhagen, but yeah, he's clearly, for me, he's having the same problem that Wirtz is having, which he just hasn't acclimatized to the league whatsoever. And I'll be honest, look, I am getting a lot more concerned about him because at the end of the day, Xavi Simons has proven he's a very good player, but he's not acclimatizing to the Premier League. And at the end of the day, he's the kind of player that we needed to come in and make an impact because we have Maddison's out, Kulusevski's out. He's our only number 10. Plus, he's a big signing, 50, 60 million. He needs to be doing more than what he's done ultimately. That's the only way I can say.
I just realized this Richarlison costs more. Right?
Oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
I just realized, but I mean, this was kind of the Xavi Simons or Simons derby, the Chelsea Spurs game. But yeah, I also think that overall, I think Frank still needs some time, but obviously, I think there still has to be a lot of improvement with even just, you can say, the shit players. Mostly the forward.
Yeah, he needs. Do you know what he needs to do? I keep saying this. Now Romero's back. Go to 3 at the back. Go to 3 at the back. It will. I'm not saying it will solve all of our problems, but I think it will genuinely make us a much better team because if you go 3 at the back, you're playing a formation that suits your strongest positions, which for us is centre backs and wing backs. Like, a Doggy's back. I thought a Doggy had a really good game against Copenhagen. A Doggy and Porro, natural wing backs that naturally play in that position. Plus, if you go to a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, you don't, that's less attackers. If you go to a 3-5-2, you can have like Kudus and then Kolombwani up front or whoever up there. It's less, and then the wing backs are sort of your wide players in that formation. So then it kind of solves this clear issue that we're having out wide. But Frank hasn't done that. And I don't get it because he did it at Brentford. Maybe it's because we haven't had maybe because we haven't had enough fit centre backs. I don't know, but still, I think for me that would make us a better team than what we currently are. To be honest.
Yeah. Hopefully, Dragoshin comes back soon.
Yeah. I think he'll be back after the international break.
Yeah, because I think he's actually part of the squad for this month.
Yeah.
I saw.
But yeah, Evolve today. Yeah, I did. That was really sad for him. Yeah, I mean, it's the
knife or a gun.
That was they got the agent apparently. I don't know anything about the situation, but yeah, it sounded horrible for him.
Yeah.
But luckily, he seems like he's okay now.
Yeah.
But listen, look, we'll have to see. I mean, that's the worry for me. Like you said, Ten, that will not be the last performance like that.
Yeah.
Oh, big up.
Let me see where.
This comment. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, look, you beat us again. It is what it is. Like I don't have a leg to stand on in this. All I will say is that look, Chelsea, before 2003, I know you'd still beat us, but before 2003, nobody knew who you were. You were not the Chelsea today. But it is what it is.
And actually, Chelsea were the only English club to not win this midweek.
Yeah, I mean, beating Qarabağ's not for everyone. Look, I'm joking. At the end, look, I'm not gonna come here and kind of poke the bear because look, Chelsea deserve to win. It's as simple as that. I'm not gonna argue it. They were the much better team. Albeit part of that I think was us being as poor as we were, but they deserve to win, and we didn't deserve anything from the game. It is what it is. So, yeah. But like you said, I mean, just sorry to kind of cut you off, but like you were saying that it's not the last time.
It won't be the last time this happens. It could be. I would love it if it's on Saturday, but it might most likely going to be NLD, probably.
God, I hope it's not the NLD because you know what that game
means. On how I've seen it past 3 years, I think. If I'm not mistaken, the last time is still the 3-0.
Yep, that's the last time we beat them in the league. Yeah.
So that's what it's going to be at least. If you don't beat them now, it'll be at least now 4 years.
Way too long, man. I can't remember when was the last time we didn't win a North London derby for this long. Because while I was growing up, we used to win quite a lot of them actually.
Or at least at home, yeah.
Yeah, at home, not away, but at home we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is at the Emirates, but we'll talk about that when it comes. But I feel like. Overall, I think Spurs probably still need to evolve, as Evolve Today says. But I think probably the most important thing, and big up to
Zed.
Congrats on another, the 16th win in 16. And please be awesome. Please.
Yeah, buying a cookie. I can't lie, you guys look amazing. I think you might be favourites for the Champions League, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but I think overall for Spurs, I think it's just about.
I mean, did you see any of the Chelsea game? Because you should have seen, man. Like it was tragic.
What the Spurs game? Or
the Spurs Chelsea game. Did you see any highlights or live? Oh yeah, Paolini. Yeah, he's probably been our best player in a lot of games recently. That's for sure.
Yeah, but mostly this Chelsea game didn't see much apart from the highlights, but. Just from what everyone has said, shit. from Spurs.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like you heard me. Like I was. Yeah, look, we need it, man.
Oh God, we need it. But I do need Arsenal to win heavily this weekend.
Nah, come on, Sunday.
No.
No, 100%, man. Look, we got to do something in that game because as well, like with the Chelsea game. Fans, I know a lot of it was made. I know a lot of things were made out of it after the game and stuff. But fans turned really toxic after the not Frank Hout's a pointless conversation at the moment. The Chelsea game, fans turned really toxic after that game, and it's because at home when you're in front of because our home form's been so much worse than our away form this season. When you're at home, the fans kind of go there, they expect something, and what we're being served up at home is nothing short of not acceptable. It's as simple as that. So the way I see that whole situation is I get that, There's been a lot made out. Should fans boo? But the way I see it is like if your team is putting in a performance like that, then what do you expect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you expect to happen? Like fans are always going to turn when that happens. It's as simple as that. And yes, look, our home atmosphere isn't great. I know that because look, it's never been the same since White Hart Lane. I get that, but at the same time, you know, I still think that we could have done more, even with the problems we've had at the new stadium with that. I still think the atmosphere should have been better. Of course, even when we're losing, I still think we should have done more. But at the same time, the other side of it is I don't really I'm not really surprised because the performance was so bad. You need something to cheer about. There was nothing to actually cheer about.
Yeah, and I guess if you still want to talk about how shit Spurs are, we might as well talk about how shit Newcastle were.
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest, right? That Premier League weekend was probably our two worst performances of the season.
Yeah.
Both Spurs and Newcastle had two absolute stinkers.
Yeah. And on West Ham v Newcastle, just like Mike's usually is with West Ham most of the season, he took his gloves off.
Oh, the gloves are on.
But we are putting our gloves on. West Ham 3, Newcastle United 1. Overall, probably the worst performance I've seen. It was so bad that I was like, even at 2-1 in around the 80th minute, I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch the rest of this. I know what's going to happen. We're not going to get a goal. And then, so actually, I've yet to see Thomas Tuchel, the goal. I didn't see his goal.
Oh, it was the one that wrapped it up at the end.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered. I don't even know what he did. Because I was like, I knew we're not going to win. So that's why I kind of like, But I'll say the first half, or I'll say maybe the lineup, it was okay, I guess. I mean, obviously Trippier had an illness, before the game. So he wasn't in the team against, West Ham. But overall, yeah. But I think overall, the lineup wasn't that great overall, I would say, because obviously Gordon hasn't really done much. Actually, only Jacob Murphy has only done anything in terms of the.
He scored the goal in the 4th minute. So
yeah, I mean, very good goal, and we could have maybe been 2-0 up, but before we even scored, Jared Bowen he hit the post, and then 40 seconds later we scored. So a bit fortunate, but that was really the only sort of bits of play that we had, because the rest of that first half, it was mostly just West Ham trying to attack. And then obviously Pope made some decent saves at the start, but then eventually Paqueta, who I think now has kind of gotten more of a knack of scoring against us.
Didn't he almost join Newcastle? Am I right in saying that?
I'm not sure, but obviously I know Bruno.
So I know he almost went to City, but then I thought there was something about Newcastle as well, maybe.
Maybe, but I think it might have been because of his betting or the thing he's doing with that. But I think also to get one over Bruno Guimaraes is also quite unfortunate, because obviously they're both good friends and all. But I think the first half, and then obviously Sven Botman own goal. I don't blame him with that own goal, because he was trying to cut it out, and Nick Pope was already moving one side, and obviously you can't really go back unless you're like Thibaut Courtois or something. But I think overall it wasn't a good first half performance, and then the second half, for some reason, okay, Gordon, we subbed off like 3 players. So Gordon was one, Valdemar was the other, and then I'm not sure. I think Emil Kraft maybe was the other sub, but we made like 3.
You made like all these subs at half time. It was strange because
I mean,
I don't know if there was injuries, but like Valdemar off was bizarre.
Probably fatigue or something. That's what I heard. And then, I mean, Gordon probably because of what we saw against Athletic Club last night. Probably reoccurring hip injury, so maybe something to do with that. But still, I'm like, and then we played Osula. Like, okay, Osula's been okay for one game, which was against.
He's a cup merchant though. He's a cup merchant.
Yeah.
Carabao Cup merchant.
Yeah, or FA Cup, because he actually performs well in FA Cups as well. So maybe just play him for the domestic cups or sell him to Frankfurt, like we almost did. But I think when we made those subs and then we started we had 3 or 4 different players play at right back.
By the way, what is Tonali doing at right back?
Yeah, Tonali.
What is that about? What is Tonali at right back about?
and then we made more substitutions later on, but literally there was no flow or chemistry when we keep on changing the position of the players and all, and then what do you call this? Obviously, Harvey Barnes came on, Elanga came on, actually Fabian Schär came on for not Sven Botman, for ML Kraft. So actually, so right back, we started with ML Kraft, and then it was Malik Chow at right back.
Oh my God. And
then eventually it was probably Jacob Murphy, and then when we got Jacob Murphy off, substituted, then it was Tonali, and literally 3-4 players played at right back for some reason in that game. And then, to be honest, the rest of that sort of second half barely did anything. I would say we became less threatening. Maybe we had 1 or 2 chances, but not great overall. And then obviously, Thomas Souček, who did score in that 2-0 loss when we lost 2-0 last season, almost basically a year ago, scored again. But I didn't see the goal because obviously I was too.
The head loss was you're in the middle of head loss.
I knew it would what do you call this?
Do you know what I need to do for this show? Whenever Newcastle lose a game, I need to play the clip of the Darwin.
Oh no!
Look, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Oh, no. I would say from that, that Darwin game and this one, which one is worse? I'll probably say the West Ham one, this one, because against Liverpool, don't really have.
Is this under Eddie Howe? Those the 2 worst games under Eddie Howe? Because I saw a lot of Newcastle fans say that West Ham game was the worst performance under Eddie Howe.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's still been some, if you remember when Marmoush scored a hat trick against us, that was really bad.
Or 5-1 when we had Conte. 5-1.
Yeah. the
only time we beat Newcastle in a while.
Yeah, I mean, you did beat us 4-1
2
seasons later, but that was with injuries and all that. But overall, probably the worst performance because we actually have, apart from maybe a couple of players, everyone was fit somewhat, or maybe not.
Apart from the right, I mean, the right back was a bad because Kraft's your third choice.
Yeah, because Livramento. At least Livermento's getting back. He's on the, training and all that. So trying to get the match fitness. He'll be able to start faster than Isak for sure.
Had to get that in there.
Oh God. We'll have what do you call this? Where's that? This. Where is it? And then obviously Trippier got ill apparently. So it was Kraft. First time Kraft has started back-to-back games against Spurs and then this West Ham game.
To be fair, we made him look good.
Yeah,
and he's there's by the way, Kraft's an Ashley era player.
Yeah,
and we made him look good.
Yeah, but overall, the West Ham performance wasn't amazing. The only worrying thing is that if you really think about it. You say Spurs have very good away form, apart from maybe us.
Your away form's shocking. It is
unless it's a Champions League night.
You haven't won an away game in the league this season.
Actually, we haven't won since Leicester City, 3-0. I think 3-0.
They're not even in the Prem anymore.
Yeah. So,
What is it with your away form? Because I mean, especially this game against West Ham, like I saw it. You guys were horrible. Like I know you took the lead early on, but you were horrible.
Yeah,
After
I mean, we
that,
should have been behind.
you should have been more than 2-1 behind. And you know what's really bad? This is West Ham we're talking about. This is West Ham who were in
haven't
crisis.
won a game since February.
Yeah, haven't won a game since February. Haven't won at home for like ages, like since February.
God.
And their fans basically want to tear the whole club down.
Yeah.
And you've just lost to them. Like that makes it even worse. You've lost to West Ham. They are awful. Like they are a terrible team. Like we went there and won 3-0. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you guys should be getting a similar result. And but that's the thing. Like, obviously, that's the shocking thing. Like, now you know, because I know you've had a few tough away games like Villa, like Brighton and stuff. But when you're losing 3-1 to West Ham, that's how you know your away form's bad. I mean, why is your away form so bad? Because, like you said, you haven't won away in the league yet.
And our next game in the league is away.
Yeah, of course. So what do you think the problem is with the away form? I mean, especially after what you saw on Sunday.
And then also what I saw last night, it feels like we only perform
different team at home. Yeah.
Not just that, but we perform when it's a special occasion game.
Champions League
or against a big six team. Like we did okay against Liverpool, Arsenal. Yeah, we lost those games, but you know,
you should have at least. I think you should have drawn both of them at least. I think.
Yeah, you're still a bit bitter about us now. But
yeah, because I'm not going to go into it. But if you guys want to know, watch this. Obviously, because it's Arsenal. But yeah, just go back and watch the stream.
But you know, we only turn up. It seems like for the big games. It seems like Champions League nights, Carabao Cup, and all that. Like, I'll be content. I'll be happy if it ends up we win another trophy, Carabao Cup,
of course,
Champions League. I'll speak about Champions League and how I feel about it when we talk about Athletic later on our game. But it seems like the away form hasn't been that great. Maybe it's because
this was the case last season. I remember to a point at the start of last season, you were really bad away from home, but then you were good at home.
The only away game I remember actually we won a couple of away games at this point last season. We beat Forest at their ground. We beat Wolves at their ground. Something that Spurs don't do, but.
They're going down.
But this season, it seems like, zero away wins so far. And the next 3 away games, in the Prem at least, is Brentford, which I'm not confident, really.
They're doing all right, actually.
Everton, obviously, it's at the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
What do you guys call Everton? The Scouse Mackhams.
Oh, God. And talking about that, after the next away game in the league, after Everton is them.
Oh. Which, by the way, thoughts on Sunderland? Are they in your head? Because I'll be honest, nobody saw it coming. Like, there's nobody saw. They're 4th right now. I'll get the table because obviously we can talk about Spurs and Newcastle, of course, but. Just looking at this, I mean,
I'm not clicking add to. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
where's it?
Where's it gone? I've lost it. There we go.
Oh God.
Let me cut number 1 off again.
No. Oh no. And the thing is, you know, this weekend it's actually top 4 playing against each other.
Yeah, everyone's playing each other.
Man City, Liverpool. So, if you want a prediction. Oh, please, Mikel Merino, former Newcastle. Please, he scored against us the other back.
Granit Xhaka masterclass.
Oh, no.
Who else they got? Is it who's that striker they got? Isidore, is it?
Oh,
no. And they got to be fair, they do have Mukiele.
They have Brian Brobbery.
Robbery.
Oh God.
But what's your thoughts on Sunderland? Because they're doing well. They are. I mean, it's still very early. It's only 10 games.
The only game I've been impressed, because I would say it has to be against the you could say Big 6 plus Newcastle. They've only beaten Chelsea. When they have yet to play Arsenal until this coming weekend. They've yet to play the top 3 and us.
Yeah.
So and Spurs, and obviously I'm going to say 5-0 Spurs.
I hope so.
In January, but I think overall, I don't think.
You did not see this coming. Let's be honest. You did not see this coming.
I mean, maybe
your rivals finally make it back to the Prem after rotting in like League One and the Championship, and now they've kind of surprised everyone.
But the league doesn't end in November, and
no, I mean not unless you're Arsenal, because that's the way they're talking about it right now.
Yeah. And
apparently they've already won.
Probably how Sunderland are saying as well, like, oh my god, and all that. But then like it's only like what, 3 months or whatever.
Yeah, look, it's 10 games. It's like literally 10 games. Like there's 1 point between 3rd and like 9th, or like third and 8th.
And they lost to Man United.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of obviously Spurs and Newcastle, obviously we've dropped down to 6th, which is not good. Although, we still technically, I mean, we're still 2 points from 2nd. It's
and probably you might, if you win against this team, then probably you get into the top.
Yeah, look, we'll get into it, but look, the table. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not really concerned about the table right now. It's just so early. Like, talk to me about the table in like maybe March, April. That sort of thing. Then it's, but I mean, what I will say is, in terms of Newcastle, even though it's early, this start is nowhere near good enough from you guys. It's as simple as that. 13th, you can see very inconsistent up and down. I mean, why do you guys turn into a different team in the Champions League and the Carabao Cup, but in the league,
probably because it's one, maybe a different competition, but two, I think obviously all those games play at night. So under the lights, all that, get up, hype it up and all. And so far, even the Premier League games that are at night that we've played so far, I think the only one I can think of is Liverpool. And even though we lost, we still, we were up.
Guess what? We're playing you at night in December.
Actually, we play Spurs because
both at night. Both of them
are midweek, the Prem and the game last week. But it just seems like probably we only perform at night.
I mean, but what do you think the problem is? I mean, is it just away form? Or is it something more?
Maybe a bit of it could be injuries, because obviously the fullbacks, it's Dan Burn and Trippier, and obviously they actually did well last night. But the last game, Dan Burn against West Ham wasn't good. Kraft, he's third choice, but obviously we'll talk about Athletic game later. Get to see Lewis Hall play again, so hopefully that's maybe going to be an improvement. But I'll say anyone that's now it's come a bit full circle. Anyone saying Eddie Howe out?
Yeah, it really is. It is full circle. It is full from last season.
Last season, after 15 games, our record was 5 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. This season is 3 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses. I could see something similar. And then, after, what game week 16 is, which is when we started our very good form. Guess who we play in game week 16?
Spurs.
No.
Oh, Sunderland.
Yeah. So, maybe game week 6, we only turn up starting in game week 16. So we'll see. But yeah, I would probably say a bit could be injuries, especially at fullback, because I feel like they offer a lot more. Like, I think Livramento gets ahead of Trippier. I think Lewis Hall gets ahead of Dan Burn. And then you could say maybe fatigue with Valdemar, but he's done well so far. Yeah, he didn't score the other day against Athletic or even West Ham. But I think the Johan Wissa injury right now not really helped us. And obviously Wissa is not even in the Dr. DR Congo team for the upcoming break. But hopefully they say Man City game, or maybe around that time, Marseille and all that might be when Wissa comes back. But at the moment, we have, who knows, I think in we just I feel like we just have to kind of get through this period, I would say. But I will say the one game that I hope we turn up in is obviously the game on game week 16.
That'll be a big part of the
Oh.
show, I'm sure.
Oh God. I mean, prediction for Arsenal Sunderland. I know it's at the Stadium of Light, but Mika Marino.
I hope Sunderland win. I hope. Come on, Sunderland.
Saka, Martinelli, Raya.
To be honest, I'll be honest. That game, I'll be honest. Like, if I'm taking my Spurs off, I don't know who needs humbling more: Sunderland fans or Arsenal fans. Who needs humbling more?
The fact that our rivals are now playing each other.
Yeah.
Oh God! But here's the best stat for you. You know who was the last team to score against Arsenal in all competitions?
Voltemada.
Oh please let that at least continue.
Now we need Isidore or Xhaka.
Please let it be like Richarlison. Please let it be.
Don't even get me started on him. I mean, I have stuff to say about him in a minute.
Oh God! I mean, we might as well. Obviously, Premier League. I don't know if you have anything more with the West Ham, Newcastle, but
yeah, no, it was just really poor from you guys. Like, that is a disgraceful performance. It's as simple as that. From what I saw, obviously, you know a lot more than I do. Because you're in the space in terms of what fans are thinking generally, but just looking from the outside into Newcastle, like it was bad and it was unacceptable. Like you cannot be getting results like that and putting in performances like that. And like I said, I rate Eddie Howe, but Tonali at right back. I mean, Jesus Christ, Jesus.
And we had 3-4 different.
I just don't understand what you guys were doing. Like, I really don't.
Let's switch it out. Maybe it catches West Ham.
And it was a problem because I said that was a game you had to win. Like, you had to just win, just a favorable fixture, just kind of get yourselves up and running. Not even just the table, but just away from home. Finally getting a away win on the board and stuff, and it just didn't happen. And now the away form just continues, sort of.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it was just really. It was just a really bad game from you guys.
Yeah, we've only scored 2 away goals in the Prem.
Yeah, you're just not doing it away from home. Like, away from home, you guys forget how to play football.
I think we just have to play in Belgium.
Yeah, that's your only away win this season
and all that.
That's the thing. It just feels like you guys forget how to play football when you go away. That's what it seems to be with Newcastle at the moment.
Yeah, and that's probably how I kind of see it with us, but. Yeah, not been a good weekend for us. Hopefully,
that was our two. Yeah, that was our two. Both our clubs put in our worst performances of the season.
And to be honest, we might as well go from Tottenham's worst, one of probably the worst, to probably the best. The team I said would draw 1-1 got humbled 4-0. Look, it's Copenhagen. Okay, expected, but what do you call this? I think. I'll let you go first, but I would say, the final is in the Puskás Arena. Is there a shout for Van de Ven?
It's written in the stars. Van de Ven, Puskás. Just give him the Puskás now. I mean, look, 4-0 win against Copenhagen. Look, it was a win we needed in the Champions League. Obviously, look, when I saw our lineup without Kudus there, I felt, I just didn't look forward to this game, to be honest. But listen, Copenhagen, I'll just start off by saying, just get it out of the way. Copenhagen were really poor. They were really, really poor. They were one of the worst teams I've seen come to the Tottenham Stadium. Like, they were really lightweight. I thought and we're not even like, especially in attack, we're not like the most physical team in every position. Like, physically, I thought we completely dominated them. I don't really say that too often about us. And it was just overall a very comfortable win. And look, like I said, Copenhagen were very poor, so you have to kind of take that into consideration. But at the same time, it is the Champions League. Look, we were getting shit for, you only beat Karabag to win the Europa League. Well, guess what? Karabag just drew with Chelsea. You know what I mean? So it is the UCL. You have to beat what's in front of you. And we did that. And it was a win we needed in the Champions League because of our last 2 games against Bodo and Monaco, drawing. This was like, if you don't win this game, like, there is like a 0% chance of us getting in the top 8 and stuff. So we had to win this game, and we did, and we won it comfortably. Look, Johnson, obviously, I've had a lot to say about Brennan Johnson lately. got his goal. Keeper made a mess of it. He went round him. Should have, to be honest, first half. I mean, Copenhagen didn't create anything, but we should have probably been about 3-0 up. I mean, Kolo Muani should have scored. Xavi Simons, his assist was great for the goal. I thought, to be honest, this was Xavi Simons' best game in a Spurs shirt. I thought he should have had more than just one assist in this game. Kolo Muani, I thought in terms of the thing is, he missed some chances, some sitters, if I'm honest, but his overall performance was actually pretty decent. I actually thought he linked up well. His dribbling was quite good. I actually thought his overall performance, which look, obviously from a striker, you need him to score, which is what we need. But if you look at his overall performance, I felt he was better. I mean, I thought he was better than anything I've seen from Richarlison lately, if I'm honest. And that's unfortunately kind of the benchmark that we're having to deal with here. But look, he did well for our second goal. Obviously, the pressing and stuff again, their goalkeeper makes another mess of it. But obviously, Odebert, who I thought again looked better against Copenhagen, scored.
I mean, everyone looked like they were.
Everyone, yeah. And look, like I said, is that to do with the opposition? Potentially, but at the same time, I felt that Frank, look, in terms of the attack wasn't great, but he changed up the midfield. He put Sarr in alongside Bentancur. Simmons in the 10. Doggy came back in. I thought Doggy played really well. I thought
what happened to him.
Yeah, after especially what happened. The Doggy, I've been saying this. He's somebody that I think we need to have starting for us. Look, I know Spence has done well, but I've always said I think Doggy's better than Spence. And I think he's shown, look, he came in. And when he's played this season, if I'm honest, when he's played this season, I think he's done well. And big up to Mr. Moon. Yeah, and of course I will get to that because despite the 4-0 win, this is a big thing that we are going to have to talk about. But I want to kind of go to the positives first. Do you know what's really funny? Right? Is that red card with Johnson, the red card, which, by the way...
I wonder if all the Spurs fans... Yay!
Well, obviously, look, you know my thoughts on Brennan Johnson, but what I will say is this. The red card, for me, is debatable. I don't know if it was enough to give a red card, but at the same time, he shouldn't have made the challenge. The Copenhagen player was going nowhere. We weren't in any danger of conceding. He doesn't need to make the tackle at that moment. But what I find what was really funny is the red card. I actually thought we got better. And why did we get better? Because I keep telling you guys, this is what Tottenham do. This is what Tottenham do. Whenever a team leaves space, because when we got the red card, it meant Copenhagen, because they were losing 2-0 already, they had to come and attack us more. They had to take a bit more risk. And what do you know? When there's space, Spurs, we can hurt teams. I've said this many times that this is the type of team that we are. We are a team that's good in the transition, that is good at playing counter-attacking football. We're not a possession-based team. We're not a team that's gonna open up the opposition. We are good when there's space. And this is people wonder why our home form's been so bad. I mean, one of the main reasons for that, not the only reason, one of the main reasons is because when teams when you're an away team, you're naturally going to sit back a bit more. And we've played a lot of teams that have sat back, not give us space, and we don't know what to do. But Copenhagen, especially when we went down to 10 men, they had to attack us more. There was so much space. And to me, it wasn't a surprise to go and see us win the game 4-0 in the end.
Wasn't a surprise. Van de Ven was that.
But what was incredible was Van de Ven. I mean, if any of you guys watching somehow haven't seen this goal, just go and watch it. I mean, by the way, this guy's a centre back. This guy's a centre back. Literally reminiscent of Son 2019, Puskas. Son against Burnley. Yeah, Puskas in 2019 dribbles through their whole team. But this is a centre back that's done it. Van de Ven just powers it. I mean, Sonny, I think, had more skill, obviously more dribbling, because obviously you expect that from a forward. But I think Van de Ven, obviously it was a good dribble, but he just bodied his way through that whole team. Honestly, and then the finish, that finish. I mean, he said.
Actually, I would say better. Is it better than Son's finish against Burnley?
Well, here's the thing. I know a lot of fans have been comparing the two goals. I personally think Son's is better because Son, if you go and watch it, Son had more players. He had more players and he had to kind of dribble more.
Yeah.
But Van de Ven's, that's not to say it wasn't incredible. Plus the fact that he was a centre back. Facts. Yeah, put his name on the Puskas right now.
Dan Burn.
Dan Burn. Yeah, I think Van de Ven has to. I think he has to get the Puskas. That is incredible. And
the only thing is, will he actually be at the Puskas in May.
I hope so. Look, I can dream that it will be at the Puskás Stadium in Budapest. But honestly, unbelievable goal. Unbelievable goal.
And then
I mean,
Palhinha
obviously on as a sub, wrapped it up again. But the Palhinha goal was another fast break. It was another breakaway where we had space. Obviously, Romero it was that was forward this time. I mean, this our centre backs. You know, they love to get forward. But everybody knows this. Like Van der Ven and Romero are very front-footed centre backs. They're two players that love to play on the front foot. Like they're proactive players. So it's not a surprise to kind of see, not just from set pieces, but it's not a surprise to see players like Van der Ven sort of, maybe not in this case, because obviously this was a surprise, but it isn't a surprise to kind of see them sort of drift forward, you know, get kind of, you know, be more attacking centre backs, if that makes any sense. Like I know that doesn't kind of sound normal or anything, but listen, Van der Ven, that was an unbelievable goal. And you know, fair play. You know, Van der Ven's obviously been our best attacker this season. Best attacker. Even though he's a defender, he's our top scorer. I think that, to be honest, that Van der Ven's doing fantastic with his goals, but I think that says everything about our forward line. It says, yeah, it tells you how poor a lot of them are. But listen, Van der Ven's doing so well. He's and he got another goal, and that was incredible, man. What did you think when you saw the goal? Because that is mad. That goal, that was like, amazing.
The only thing is it only against the terrible teams? They're against Burnley back.
No, but that's one of those goals where it doesn't matter who it's against. Like against any team, if you score that goal against any team, it doesn't matter. Like that is an incredible goal. Full stop. No matter who you score it against.
Yeah, like you know, scoring those sort of goals against like Burnley, Copenhagen, Man United. You know,
it doesn't matter. They're hard to score. It doesn't, and that's when the opposition doesn't matter. When you see a goal that incredible.
Net.
Yeah, facts. Because I'm going to get to that now. Because look, it was a great win for Spurs, but it should have been 5-0. And we have to talk about this absolute fraud, Richarlison, because I've been saying this for so long. I told everyone that the start of the season was a purple patch. Sadly, I was right. You know, obviously, I want to be wrong about those things. Sadly, I was right. But obviously, Dane Scarlett, can't believe he's still at the club, to be honest, Dane Scarlett. It feels like he's been here forever. Like he's from our academy and everything. Obviously comes on. Actually did really well. He kind of like, you know, did a kind of good skill to win the penalty. Listen, at that point, we're 4-0 up. The game's won. It's in stoppage time. Just let the player, I always say this, if you win a penalty when you've already won the game, just let the player that won it take it. Well, at that point in the game, when the game's already won. Scarlett should have taken the penalty. It's as simple as that. Scarlett won the penalty. Not only won the penalty, but did really well. He kind of, you know, completely skinned the Copenhagen player. Should have taken the penalty. But no, Richarlison's ego got in the way. His complete ego. And do you know what it is? He very quickly took the ball off. He just straight away took the penalty off Scarlett. And he misses. And look, if he scores it, it is what it is. But even if he scores it, I don't think it changes the fact that Scarlett should have taken it. Because he won the penalty and the game was already won. If it was a goal that, you know, needed to win the game, I understand it. And even then, I probably wouldn't have let Richarlison take it. I would have probably let I can't even remember who was on the pitch at that point. Probably Van der Ven. I probably would have let him take it if I'm honest, with his goal scoring form. But listen, Richarlison needs to go. I've said this for so long. He cannot. He needs to go. He is nowhere near at the level needed to play for this club. He is not doing anything for us whatsoever right now. He's missing chances, like the one he had earlier on where he hit the bar in the game from open play as well. It's shocking. You know, he should have given the penalty to Scarlett. Richarlison, I've been saying this, he's awful, man. Such a poor player. Honestly, he needs to go. He really needs to go. It's as simple as that. Like, I think he will go because, look, come January, he'll have 18 months left on his contract. I think we wanted to sell him in the summer as well. So, yeah, World Cup. When Solanke comes back, I think Richarlison won't be playing at all because you'll have Kolo Muani, assuming we don't get any more injuries, but we'll have Kolo Muani, we'll have Solanke. Richarlison will be third choice at that point. So I'm hoping that if he's not playing, it will kind of say to him that, look, you know, he needs to leave the club and stuff. And because the talk was in the summer that he refused to leave the club, that he didn't want to leave, and that's why we couldn't sell him. So it's just so poor, man. Like, he just needs to go. he can't be at this club. Look, I think it's unfair. If anybody's kind of saying Richarlison's our only problem, I think that's a bit unfair because I think it's Richarlison plus a lot of other players, especially in the forward line in this team. So, but he's just one of many, I think, that just need to go. It's as simple as that. Just one of many that aren't going to take this club forward. It's as simple as that. And not only his footballing ability, but his ego, ruined it for Scarlett essentially on Tuesday.
Oh.
But apart from that, a good game. And a performance where we actually look, like I said, it was against Copenhagen, so you take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. But it was the first time really this season where, one of the only times where I've seen us play, front-footed football where we actually look creative. We look like, we're going to do something. We were creating chances. And ultimately, look, hopefully we kind of keep this up. Obviously, it remains to be seen because obviously Copenhagen are a very weak opposition. But ultimately, you can beat what's in front of you. And I thought we'd struggle more. Against Copenhagen, if I'm honest. So, look, 4-0. A much-needed win in the Champions League, of course, after the last couple of games. And it was a good performance. Majority of players, I thought, had a decent game. So we'll see. Like I said, Xavi Simons, I thought put in, his best performance in the Spurs shirt. Hopefully, Kolo Muani, hopefully he can start scoring some goals because he should have scored at least 2 or 3 yesterday. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was definitely a good reaction, you could say, to the Chelsea game. But ultimately, it's going to take more than just one game for kind of me to sort of kind of get super excited because. I've been through some very bad games this season, so we'll have to see. But yeah, like I said, a good win, a very good performance and results. But Richarlison's ego kind of put a bit of a stain on things at the end. So yeah, that's my thoughts. What was your thoughts on obviously our 4-0 win?
Richie in, Frank in.
Nah, you should buy Richarlison.
No, we'll probably go to Everton. I have a feeling, but
yeah, he might go back to Everton. I think I could see that happening.
Yeah, and then he'll score against Spurs in the next game you play them. But I think obviously, I predicted 1-1.
Yeah, you were wrong. I mean, I said we'd win at least. I said we'd win.
Yeah, 3-0. I think you said
2-0. I said 2-0.
But yeah, because I thought maybe Copenhagen, maybe they be a little bit more defensively solid.
They were but even with 11v11, they were open. They were very open. So
yeah, I think had they been, like how play as if they were like Bournemouth when they play against you, they're 1-0 or something like give you no space. Maybe
Wolves,
these kind of teams. They could have gotten something, but. They decided.
This is what happens, Sam. If I'll say this to give us a bit of credit with Spurs, when teams attack us, we can be quite dangerous because in transition, for whatever, and this has been the case for ages now. In transition, we are a good team in transition.
Yeah, but I think overall, very good performance. I think this is probably the best Spurs performance. But obviously, I think. It's one very good performance against Copenhagen, but will we see that against Arsenal? Will we see it on Saturday? Will we see
against better opposition, basically.
Yeah, teams that when you eventually play Liverpool, you haven't played them yet. Or obviously you should do it against Sunderland. Maybe against us as well, because obviously we play you.
Yeah, the question is, can we perform like that consistently? And obviously, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need it. We need it.
I want Esteval.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chelsea. But what I'm saying is, you're right. Like it comes down to whether we can perform like this consistently. Look, I have a lot of doubts because I said this until players from injury come back, like Kulu, like even Solanke. And we buy players to improve things. I don't see how it changes. And that's the problem. Look, Copenhagen, it was a great performance, but it was one game. And it was against weak opposition. And listen, I think what we do in the games ahead will kind of tell us the full story, essentially. It's as simple as that. And we'll start to find out on Saturday against Man United.
Oh, yeah. But I guess we can talk about the other Champions League night regarding a team that only performs that night, that being Newcastle.
Newcastle United. See what I did there?
Oh God. What you call this? A 2-0 win over Athletic Club last night in the Champions League. I'll say the performance from us. Let me add to the screen.
You guys definitely like the Champions League, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, like the only game we lost was against a lot of people's favorites to win, Barcelona, and
They just drew.
Barcelona drew against Club Brugge. Remember, I did say, Club Brugge could beat Barcelona. Long time. So it was close.
It almost happened.
It should have been 4-3 as well. But yeah, Newcastle 2, Athletic 0. First 10 minutes before the Dan Burn goal, I thought Athletic were better than us. They pressed us high and all that. But I think obviously also the lineups for us. Obviously Trippier came back. Dan Burn still play at left back, even though Lewis Hall is available, and all that. But overall, it was somewhat of a changed team for us, but it was nothing like Athletic Club, because that Athletic Club.
Oh, they had all their best players out.
Yeah.
All of them were out.
Both Williams, Sanchez, Bacic. Just before the game, Guruzetsa. I know there's a couple more. Like
basically they had all of their best players out.
Laporte and all that. Yeah, like literally, this was almost like the reserve team of Athletic. More like 50% of them. Like I'm pretty sure this game would have been different had some of the, like, if Sanchez and the Williams brothers were playing. I think we probably don't win.
Wow.
Maybe. Because that first 10 minutes, they were actually pretty good. But then when we got that free kick, Trippier with the free kick, and then obviously Dan Burn, he was marked by Navarro. Before the free kick, Navarro was marking Dan Burn. When Dan Burn heads...
Oh, what a header. What a header. Big Dan Burn.
Better than Van der Ven, you know?
Nothing. Don't even go there. Van der Ven's goal that's Puskas' winning goal. Let's be honest.
But then Navarro was like almost 20 meters away from Dan Burn when he scored. So really bad, like, defensive showing from... No, literally the best players of Athletic weren't even playing. Like, we basically played the reserve team. Not reserve team, but it felt like we were playing the reserve.
Yeah, it was basically their B team. Like, they had all these injuries.
Yeah, and illness just before the game. Guruzetsa was ill, so he wasn't in the team. And he's the striker. So ultimately, it was Unai Gomez who started. Who's, he's kind of like the... I wouldn't say he's as bad as Will Osula, but
he's better than Richarlison. I'll tell you that. He's better than Richarlison. Everyone's better than Richarlison.
Yeah, but I think when we scored the first goal, then I think it was kind of settled. I know maybe there were one or two chances. I know Athletic, they hit the post in the game.
It was that dirty player, Joe Linton, the second. That dirty player. Always against us.
Yeah, but then, like, before the second half, I would say the first half, I'd say maybe even, like, Adama Boyo could have maybe got a goal, but was saved by Nick Pope. But overall, I would say the sort of first half wasn't great. I'd say Athletic were pressing us a lot more. But then after halftime, second half, within 4 minutes, we scored. Oh, and also Gordon went off injured before halftime. So I feel like he won't be playing on Sunday. Yeah. And
here's the thing with Gordon. I actually think Gordon's been very disappointing this season.
Except Champions League night.
Only Champions League, it seems he turns up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind if it ends up being on the 30th of May, But I think, what do you call this? Second half, when Joe Linton scored, it was basically game over at that point. Like, you kind of saw the energy, intensity from us, maybe around the 60th minute, 70th minute, when we made substitutions. With what you call this, we brought on 3 subs in the 65th minute. That being Lewis Hall, finally coming back. I think first time this season, if I'm not mistaken. I think Lewis Hall's first game this season. So it was nice to see. Lewis Miley and Alanga came on, and Alanga wasn't that good. But when we brought on those subs, it was 2-0 at that point. The sort of energy, the intensity kind of dropped from us, and then Athletic Club kind of got back into the game. But it was more like just see the game out basically from us. And we obviously did because we won 2-0. But yeah, I think overall this game, I would say, to be honest, we haven't really had any exciting Champions League teams up against. I think I'm more looking forward to how we perform in Marseille, in Leverkusen, against Paris, and at least Charlie gets to see his team lose against PSG before we lose to them. So at least there's some experience he can talk about to me. But I think against Athletic, we weren't amazing, but Athletic weren't also amazing. We just had the better quality of players. I think this game would have been different if the Williams brothers, Sanchez, and all them played in this game. Maybe it would have been a different result. But overall, you can only beat what's in front of you. The fact that what's the funny thing? We got Barcelona and Athletic as our teams in the Champions League, and we didn't even get to see Jamal or Nico Williams.
Well, look, that was good for you guys because they're obviously
not the Barcelona game, but it would have been nice just to see Jamal versus Dan Burn.
Yeah, I wanted to see
Nico Williams against Trippier and all that, but ultimately, maybe kind of lucky with that. Maybe when we play PSG later on, maybe there won't be any Dembele or something like that.
Well, I think when we play them, they're going to have all of these guys out, I think.
Oh, yeah. Hakimi, especially what happened to Hakimi as well. But I think overall, good performance. And for us this is the first time second time we've ever done this, winning 3 back-to-back Champions League games. We're above Real Madrid, we're above Spurs, we're above Liverpool, we're above Barcelona, above Chelsea after 4 games. And to be honest, my expectation before the season was top 24. If maybe by the end of the Leverkusen game in game 6, with 2 games to go, and if we're really in contention of top 8, I'd say go for it because we have PSV.
I reckon you guys get top 8 if I'm honest, because I'm looking at your fixtures. I'm like, PSV and Leverkusen should both be wins.
Marseille, I'm a bit worried.
But I think you can afford to draw. You can afford, like I said, for Spurs, you can afford to drop points 3 times as long as 2 of them are draws. And I reckon that if you get a draw, if you beat PSV and Leverkusen, if you draw to Marseille
or PSG,
but I think if you get even if you lose to PSG, that should probably be enough. I reckon. I would say.
Yeah, but
so I reckon you'll get it.
Who knows? I mean, if we get top 8, then that's good because we saw Aston Villa and Lille got top 8. So
ultimately, it avoids the 2 extra games.
Even though that doesn't matter because PSG won the.
That's what I'm hoping with us because with us, we can only afford to drop points 1 more time. I would say that we have to win because obviously, look, PSG. I'll be honest, I don't have any expectations for that game. But for the 3 after that, Slavia Prague, Dortmund, and Frankfurt. We have to win those. If we're going to get top 8, we have to win those 3 games. We have to win. If we win, I think if we win 3, if we get 9 more points, that should do it. But I don't know if we will. I'm not convinced that we will. But I'm just saying that it's still possible. But we just have to. We have to basically win 3 of the last 4 games, basically.
Yeah, and one more.
That'll be tough. Dortmund. I know they just lost to Man City, but Dortmund.
But that'll be in January.
So exactly.
But I would say. Both of our teams look like could get top 8 considering the schedules we have. But
I think you're more likely than us to be.
But I will say this: You know, the last time Newcastle technically played a European final, I know it's the Intercities Fairs Cup back in 1969. You know, yes, the game was over 2 legs, that final against Uzpest, a team from Hungary, which are based in Budapest. I wonder where the Champions League final is this year.
The O10 and the Omens. The Omens.
I'm not. I would say I will only be. What do you call this? You could say speaking it into existence.
You're trying to manifest it. That's the thing.
If we're in that quarterfinal, if we're in the top quarterfinals of the Champions League in April, then I'll be like, you know what? Let me manifest this.
Look, why not? Then you can start. Then you can start to dream. The later it goes on. But I think you're kind of what I didn't see much of the Athletic Club game. I mean, I saw the highlights and stuff. I mean, big Dan Burn with powerful header. But I'll be honest, I agree with you. Like, I didn't think you played that well. I didn't feel like you.
First half, yeah.
I mean, second half, I thought you got. But it was kind of like it was a bit like the Benfica game, where like first half you kind of rode. You were a bit lucky to kind of be ahead, but then second half you kind of took control of the game. Obviously, the second goal from again that dirty player Joe Linton kind of sealed the win for you guys. Like Athletic Club, I don't think we're getting back into it after that. And look, it was obviously most importantly the result, because that's 3 Champions Leagues winner in a row. And if I get the table up, you are sitting in the top 8. You are sitting in 6th right now. And it's
oh look, we're
looking good. Yeah, we're there. We're in 10th. But look, like I said, we're a point off. I mean, we're above Barcelona and Chelsea. But that just tells you, look how tight the table is.
And I guess the next games, it's the top 2 against each other and the bottom 2 against each other.
Bayern against Arsenal, and then
Benfica, Ajax play each other.
Ajax on 0 points.
I feel like obviously to Michael and technically.
Oh yeah, shout out to Michael. I'll be on his show on Saturday, guys. If you want to check that out, Michael TV.
Oh yeah, seeing how what do you call this? What's the name? Seeing how I feel bad for Ajax.
They got destroyed by Osimhen hat-trick.
And look, Galatasaray could make top 8.
They're doing all right, but to be fair, they're playing City still, and they're playing. The thing is with Galatasaray, they often bottle it. I feel like because they had the Euro.
They have Union at home. I think.
But because the thing is with Galatasaray is in the Europa last year, they had like a really good start. Like they beat us, they won of it, but then they drew to like Dinamo Kiev, who were like bottom. I remember, and they kind of struggled, and so I don't know. And they got battered by AZ Alkmaar in the playoffs. So I don't know if they seem better this season, but I don't know. Galatasaray kind of did worse than I thought they'd do better than they did last season.
I actually had Galatasaray as my finalist against Man United.
Oh well, I wonder how that worked out.
I was close. At least one of them made the final, but yeah, obviously for us to be in the top 8 for Newcastle, kind of gives us a bit of confidence, I would say, in terms of maybe we could actually get top 8. Because to be honest, I didn't expect us to be in the top. Well, maybe top 8 now, but still have to see by the end of game 8 in the
look, we're halfway through basically.
But now you kind of see. I feel like any team on 7 points and more, I think gets top 24 at least. So
I'm not worried. I'll be even for Spurs. Like I'm like certain we're gonna
unless you lose like every game,
which I don't think is gonna happen. So
it would be.
Look, I still think we can get top 8, but it's going to be difficult because we have to win 3 out of 4, which is hard to see with the way we've been playing this season at times.
Yeah,
but I think you guys will get it because I think your fixtures are favourable, and I reckon that it seemed in the Champions League you seem to be good. So I think Newcastle will get in the top 8. I've kind of changed my prediction. I think you will actually.
We'll see. I think the Marseille game probably tells me whether we can, because
Atalanta just won.
To be honest, we've only played one away Champions League game, and that's against USG, and it wasn't even at the stadium. So we actually didn't have you
haven't played in a team's ground,
like a hostile sort of environment. So obviously Marseille will be the first one. Technically, it's technically the first away game for us, the Marseille game. I think
Dortmund's home for us.
Yeah.
Dortmund, they're down to 14th now, to be fair.
Yeah. But
like I said with Dortmund, like on our day, it's a big if. On our day, we can beat Dortmund on our day, but whether that day happens is another thing.
yeah,
Because the thing with Dortmund is the reason I say that because Dortmund will attack us, I reckon, and there'll be space, but also
yeah,
we'll have players back from injury by that point, and
maybe.
I think just in general we have a good record against Dortmund generally, and I just hopefully that continues.
Yeah, I mean we have a good record against Leverkusen, and PSG.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
we don't have a good record against PSV.
to be fair, I'm not looking forward to playing PSG.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when the day comes. Oh, the show not next week, the week after when we preview Arsenal and PSG, no. And then for us,
that week could be that has the potential to be a bit rough that week, sadly,
or probably one of the best.
Or if we win both those games, then but it could easily be like really bad that week.
Yeah, but I guess now we can preview the weekend games before the international break, and we'll start off with the early kickoff. I don't have a pair of scissors or something to cut my hair. I was really, really I feel like the build up to this game would have been more exciting.
But Nottingham Forest stopped certain person getting his hair cut.
The United strand.
Yeah.
But it's Tottenham versus Man United. The first game, even though I'm actually not that upset that Spurs won, it was just my prediction.
Yeah, but you wanted my tears. I know for a fact. Let's be honest, you wanted to see me cry.
Onana. And
you wanted Onana. Yeah,
Lamens has actually been really good. Lamens.
He has, and even the fours. I think Mbeumo and Cunha have kind of clicked in recent weeks.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe this is Seshko's turning point. God. I think he scored against Sunderland.
I was gonna say I don't want us to give him his first goal, but he did score against Sunderland.
Yeah, that's nice. You know, that was on my birthday. I was like, glory, man. This game, I don't know. I think it would have been more fun if it was.
If they were on 4 wins in a row,
I would actually be like glory.
Because then we'd have the chance to stop it at the last game. It would be really funny.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's technically game 1 of that. But before we actually preview, do you think before the end of the season, game 5 wins in a row, Man United?
No, they're not. He's gonna have hair it's gonna fill up his whole room. I'm telling you, when was the last time they won 5 games in a row? When actually did that last happen?
The best I can remember is when they beat us in the Carabao Cup like that before they played.
Oh, so that was what was that? What 3 years ago?
It feels like
3 years ago now.
Yeah,
exactly. So they haven't done that for
after
3
the World
years.
Cup and beating us in the Carabao Cup. I know they had a very good run.
So they haven't done it for a while then. So.
Yeah, I mean they didn't do it last season. So, but Tottenham, Man United. I would love to see before the game you put the Europa League trophy, players coming out.
Yeah,
and only the Spurs players I
want to see us do it against Arsenal. That's what I want to see in February.
Oh yeah, but I mean against Man United would be even more.
That'd be kind of funny. Yeah.
But how you feel about the early kickoff?
You said it, early kickoff. That's already a bit dubious because we've had some absolute stinkers in early kickoffs. To be fair, this season we've won both our early kickoffs against City and Leeds. So we seem to be doing a bit better this season. But listen, Man United. Hopefully we can make it 5 in a row. We beat them 4 times last season. It's time to make it 5. But look, no, in all seriousness, Man United, look, we seem to have their number in the last couple of years. We seem to do well against them. But what I will say is this is definitely not a great Man United, but it's definitely an improved Man United. They're a team that they've shown a little bit of consistency in the sense they did win 3 in a row. They did win at Anfield. Probably should have beaten Forest. So this is a team that's under Amorim. Maybe Amorim is finally getting it right in some ways. Maybe he's finally found the right balance to kind of get his team to not look absolutely shambolic, essentially, which is what they have for most of the time under him. So Listen, I'm kind of going into this game with the mindset of, look, this will be a tough game. This isn't going to be like, it's Man United, it's the shittest Man United, so it's going to be like a walkover. It won't, because let's be honest, we're not exactly that much better. And in the sense that we've got some, like I said, some very poor forwards. We've got injuries, and overall, I know we just beat Copenhagen, but the form, we're not in good form. Like we're only in good form until we show kind of what we did against Copenhagen more consistently. So right now, I would say Man United go into this on better form. I wouldn't make them favourites. But they go into, I think it's quite even. I would say this is 50-50. But they go into it, I would say, on better form. And I guess importantly, they've shown that, look, going forward, they are a lot better than us right now. I have to say, Mbeumo and Cunha are doing a lot more than any of our forwards are doing. So at the end of the day, that's what this game could come down to. Because look, Man United, they struggle defensively at times, but going forward, they look like they can get goals now after forever. They seem to they've had like such a bad attack for so long that it seems like now with Mbeumo and Cunha, they actually look a lot more threatening now. So listen, we have to be on it defensively. Obviously, Romero being back is massive for this game. Plus, also a doggy, I think, will be good. His record is decent. I mean, he beat them 4-0 that time, if you remember, in like Ten Hag's second game. And Frankie did win last season 4-3 towards the end of the season. So his record's decent against them. Like I say, yeah, that.
Or maybe just as an honorary coach, just bring Ange.
Yeah, just bring Ange back. Yeah, just bring, because Ange, look, whatever we say about Ange, he knows how to beat Man United. So bring him back for this game. No, look, this will be a hard game. I'm not kind of going into this where I'm going to underestimate Man United. Look, at the end of the day, we did beat them 4 times last season, but it's a new season. Obviously, look, it's a different manager and everything, different situations. So this will not be an easy game. And I'll tell you this, we have to be on it defensively. It's one of those games where I think if we get the defensive side right, I think we can win this game. But if we're kind of, not defending well, if we're making mistakes like we did against Chelsea, we could easily come unstuck in this game. So it's a tough one to call. It really is. It is a tough one to call, if I'm honest. Like I said, the at home like I said, Copenhagen was good recently, but at home we've been terrible. If this was away, I'd probably be more confident, if I'm honest. That's the funny thing. If we were away, I'd probably be a bit more confident about playing Man United. So I don't know. Look, the fact that it's at home, it kind of worries me a bit, just based on our performances at home. Look, I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super confident about this game. I'm not. I'll be honest. I know I was nervous, and naturally, you are going to be nervous for a final, but I was more confident about the Europa League final. I'll be honest. So it's tough. I mean, I'm not going to give a prediction just yet. I'll let you kind of say your thoughts first, but. Yeah, it's just tough to call. I do think it will be a close game. I think it's quite even. Look, Man United, I know they've improved lately, but let's be honest, you never know with them. At any point, they can kind of go to absolute shit at any point. They can kind of, be 4-0 down at half time at any point, So listen, I hope that we face that Man United and we don't face the Man United that won at Anfield, that won against Brighton and stuff. So so let's see. But I think it depends. A lot of what happens in this game. I mean, I don't know what Tottenham are going to turn up, and I don't know what Man United are going to turn up. So it's just very hard to call. So, kind of, what's your thoughts? And obviously, what do you think will happen? Like Spurs against Man United.
Yeah, I think probably one of the main, kind of the sort of, I don't know,
main event. The main event.
Is how Mbeumo goes up against his former manager.
Yeah, that's a good. Frank hopefully will know him well, so he'll be able to stop him. I hope.
Yeah, so that might be something that Frank might look at in terms of the attack.
And hopefully, as well, I hope Kudus is back, because apparently he had a knock, so we need Kudus back.
Maybe it's because I know he got a red card. It's Brenda.
No, get Kudus. If Kudus is fit, get him straight back in this team. We need Kudus. We need him.
But Brenda scored in the final.
Let's be honest, it was a lone goal. Let's be honest. Look, it was fantastic. It was the best. It was the best goal ever. But it was a lone goal. Let's be honest.
Oh, if back post Brenda scores against Man United again.
He did. He scored against them at Old Trafford last season.
Yeah. So, but obviously this isn't Onana. This is Lamens.
Yeah, for once, because Onana made a mistake against us in the final. He made a mistake against us in the league at home for Madison's goal.
The corner,
but that was
right?
Bindir. And it wasn't just the corner. He made a mistake for our opening goal in that game. So Bindir made 2 mistakes against us. So in the last 3 games, I mean, the win at Old Trafford last year, I don't think Onana made a mistake particularly. We scored 3 goals. But in the last 3 games, in the 4-3 in the Cup, in the 2-1-0s in the league and in the final, we've benefited from terrible goalkeeping mistakes from them. And I don't think that's going to happen in this game because Lamens has looked all right so far.
Yeah. And I feel like this game, I think if you do start with Van der Ven Romero, I think that helps your cause a little bit more because I feel like perhaps that would be something that that Man United might struggle to break down, especially that Van der Ven and Romero are much more better defenses than like.
Well, Delict's been quite good, I think, this season. Delict's, but I mean, Maguire and Shaw, we have to be getting at them.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the GOAT, Maguire.
Now I've said that, he's going to score.
Oh yeah, a header. Oh,
well, like against Leon, like Leon last season.
Or even the Anfield one.
Oh no, I forgot it was him. Oh no, Maguire.
Maguire.
Oh no. And then Gary Neville's just screaming. It's in the background.
And then I don't know. I don't. Probably he won't be in the commentary, but maybe on talk shit, as people say. Yeah. Jamie O'Hara.
No, Jamie. I don't. By the way, we don't claim him. Jamie O'Hara talks so much. I know he's like a Spurs guy and stuff, but we don't claim him. We do not claim him.
But I feel like the interesting battle, because I know Man United fans are kind of like this with one of their players. If Dalot starts at left wing back, and if it's Brenda against Dalot.
To be fair, I don't think Dallow's been that great this year, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but the fact that it
has to be Kudus. We need Kudus. I'm telling you, if Kudus isn't there, it's gonna be bad.
Then it's basically both teams are 10v10.
Basically.
Dalot and Brenda. Oh god. Imagine
to be fair, my hope is I don't want to see Richarlison start. I know Kolo Muani missed chances, but I'd rather see him start because at least he impacted the game in other ways more than Richarlison would do.
Yeah, but I feel like this game, I think obviously it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so it's actually 3 games in a row you've played. You've seen a shit game. You've seen a very good game. Maybe it might be down the middle. And obviously, this is just before technically, by 2 weeks, the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
That's right.
So I feel like, this is sort of like at least give the fans, as in the Tottenham fans, something to maybe look forward to. I'm not sure if
it's the last game before the international break. So.
Why is my face
in again?
No. Oh well, but I think this game, I feel like Spurs will win.
You said that against Chelsea. You're gonna jinx us again. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So you think we're gonna win?
Yeah, I think you still will have the quality, and I do think you will start Kolo Muani.
Yeah, just not Richarlison. Just don't start Richarlison.
Yeah, but I feel like that would probably be my prediction for the game, or who I think will win. I'll say 1-0 Spurs.
Another 1-0.
The goal scorer, back post Brenda. Either as a sub or starter, back post.
No, I'll take it.
I'll go 1-0 Spurs.
Look, we need a win. Yeah, we definitely need a win in this game. Obviously with the North London derby coming next, we need to, not be, in the complete mud going into that game and stuff. So look, it's an important game, especially after the Chelsea game. This has to be the reaction in the league. We have to win this game. It's as simple as that. But it will be, like I said, I think this will be tough. I think this is a much harder game than what it would have been at the start of the season, where Man United were a lot worse than they are now. So I don't know. I think we're going to draw, if I'm honest. I think we might draw this. I'm going to go for 1-1, I reckon. I think they're looking a bit better in attack. Apart from Copenhagen, we're really struggling right now. At home, we're really poor. Really, really poor at home in the league. Yeah, 1-1, sadly. 1-1. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be close. I think if anyone wins it, I do think it will be us. But yeah, I just think a draw, sadly.
Yeah. 1-1.
Yeah, I just think we might draw, sadly.
Yeah.
But we need to win. I'll be honest, we do need to win this game. But it's just what I think will happen.
I'm not sure if this could technically happen. The NLD could actually be the top two.
Yeah, well, I think City would have to lose, and Liverpool and City.
No, both
they'd have
to
draw, and then Sunderland would have to lose to Arsenal. But I don't want that to happen, even if it means we go second. I don't want that to happen.
I want that to happen. Go, come on, you Gooners! This time.
We love you, Sunderland. We do.
And speaking of a team that also plays in red and white stripes, not athletic, but it's Brentford, Newcastle.
I'll be right back.
And
sorry.
Away. But it's away, basically, for us. As obviously we talked about the West Ham game, not our best. What do you call this? We don't have a good away record right now this season. The last time we won away from home was what do you call this? Leicester City, 3-0 at the KP King Power. But am I confident? I don't know, because to be honest, we actually have a good record against Brentford. Even at their stadium, like we've beaten them at their ground at least 3 times. 3 times we've beaten them at their stadium, drawn 1, and no, I think we've won all games apart from last season. I think we have a good record at this.
I think you've only lost once to Brentford, I think.
Which was last season.
Yeah, 4-2. But actually, do you remember when Steve Bruce lost to them in the cup?
Oh,
but the year they got promoted. The year they got promoted during COVID.
Was it that? Yeah, I think it was that year.
Steve Bruce, the GOAT.
Oh God. But
Brucey.
I feel like the one thing kind of worrying is probably obviously the away form. Obviously, because we talked about the West Ham game and how our away form's not been that good. Like the only away win we've had is not even at the team stadium of Union Saint-Gilloise. So I think maybe you could say maybe there's a point to prove for us. Like Brentford, they've been okay. Like they've beaten Liverpool, thankfully. But
your successful hate watch.
Oh God. And then obviously we'll see what happens on, I think they play Sunday after our game, the Liverpool City. But I feel like this game between Brentford and Newcastle, I think.
Do you know who did beat Brentford?
I feel like
who?
Do
you know who did beat them?
Who?
Sunderland.
So that tells that was at their stadium.
The Stadium of Light.
the real one is in Lisbon, because it's actually called the Stadium of the
Light. Yeah.
Like, but I feel like maybe, hopefully, this sort of, what do you call this? Like, I don't know how you call it. Like, point to prove, because it seems like Eddie Howe, the players, they know how terrible we were against West Ham. They know about the away form not being great. And yeah, it's nice that we won last night against Athletic, but I feel like we need to still see a response, because everyone now, most of the Newcastle fans are like, okay, we'll turn up in Champions League, Carabao Cup, home games in the league. But then when we go away, we're not going to win and all that. So that's the sort of expectation. Hopefully, we can finally get proven wrong and we beat Brentford. A team that we have a good record at their stadium, more or less. Actually, we have a good record against them just overall. So hopefully that could be something. Obviously, this time there's no Thomas Frank in charge. There's no Embremo. There's no Wissa. Unfortunately, I'm not. It would be hilarious if this is Johan Wissa's first game. It would be funny.
Is he not? Is he back or is he like?
It seems like not. But if he is back, I 1000% bet he's going to either have a stinker or scores his debut goal for us if he somehow plays this game. But I think he won't. So I think Valdemar will start. So I think at the moment we just need a bit of confidence still. Yeah, it's nice to beat Athletic and win in the Champions League, but the away form's not been great. So hopefully can prove people wrong, you could say, and we win finally away from home in the Prem. Otherwise, the next time we could do that is Everton, and if we still can't do that, then it's the Derby, the next opportunity.
I think it's a must-win for you guys then.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm already ticking the 14th of December as a win for us, but hopefully we can at least have one before it, at least. So I feel like prediction, I hope most of us could be proven wrong and we actually win a game away from home in the Prem. And considering we actually have a really good record at this stadium, I'll go 2-1 for us.
2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah.
I reckon you're going to draw. I reckon 1-1. I mean, away from home, you're just very, very poor right now. If it's anything like, the West Ham game, you'll lose.
Oh, then we're losing.
But I think you'll be a bit better than that. But I don't know that, like I said, away from home, you just there's something you're lacking, and it's completely different to when you're at home. So, and look, Brentford have been all right. Obviously, they beat Liverpool recently. They, they're doing better than a lot of people expected under Keith Andrews, who they hired within. So,
I reckon Spurs with Ryan Mason.
No, Ryan Mason. No, forget Ryan Mason. But but yeah, no, I reckon you'll draw. I to be honest, just based on what I've seen from Newcastle away from home, I can't see you winning this game against Brentford, who are doing well, especially at home. So I reckon a draw. I reckon you'll draw. So, which you need to win, to be honest. Like you said, you need to start winning these away games and just kind of getting further up the table. But I don't know. I just kind of I struggle to see you winning, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Hopefully we win. And just a little segment before we wrap up the show. Our two rivals are playing each other this weekend,
God.
I think on Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, Saturday.
Is it the normal?
I think it's at 5:30. I think.
Oh, so it's the prime time, one of the prime time games.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, it's at
both our rivals play each other.
It's at their stadium. So I don't.
Listen, we're both hoping for the opposite. We're both hoping for the opposite.
Arsenal 12. Mika, 5 headers.
No, we need Granit Xhaka masterclass. I mean, Arsenal need humbling, that's for sure. But I reckon, to be honest, based on the few things I've seen, I think Sunderland probably need humbling as well. So it's kind of like
that's why I want Spurs to go above Sunderland. I want to see maybe Man United go above Sunderland. I want to see, I don't know, maybe Man City pull or Liverpool pull away from them. I don't really mind. To be honest, I don't mind if Arsenal win the Prem.
I do mind. If they win, I'm gone. I'm leaving the country if they win.
Please, I hope. Just please, the fact that Arsenal's last time they conceded a goal was against us, and they've won every game since then, including our game. Yeah. Just please,
November champion.
Just one more game, please. And then against Spurs, I don't really mind who wins or loses. Just win this one game, please. Just this one game.
Come on, Sunderland.
No, so I'm saying 12-0 Arsenal.
I don't know. I reckon Arsenal will probably win it, but I don't know. Sunderland are doing all right, so I think that I think it will be a tough game for them.
Oh God! But I guess we'll wrap up the the show on Newcastle and Spurs, and in a way Sunderland and Arsenal somewhat.
I could tell Sunderland's in your head. You did not expect this, so it's kind of like it's new to you. Sunderland, basically, I can imagine for you, right? And the case for a lot of Newcastle fans.
Oh God!
For years, you've just been used to Sunderland being absolute shit and being in like League One and stuff. You've been used to it, and now you're seeing them kind of come up, and you're like, "What is this? This is new."
The fact that they got promoted by scoring late winners against Coventry in the semifinal and scoring a late winner against Sheffield United.
Yeah, and they got up. They got 76 points in the championship, which is low for the championship.
Yeah, because like the other two that got promoted got 100 points.
Yeah. But Sunderland are the best out of all of them right now.
God. At least at the moment they're not in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, we'll see about that.
No, they're not winning a trophy. That's not.
Yeah, whereas there's talk. The funny thing is, I saw AFTV. There's actually talk they could beat the Chelsea 15.
They're not beating that record. They're not beating.
I would love it.
They're not. I could confidently say that right now. They are not beating that record. That record will probably never be beaten.
Goals?
15, yeah, that's never being beaten. I'm telling you, because it's one of those where if you have an off day, that record's in jeopardy. Because Arsenal could have an off day where they concede like 2-3 goals in one game.
Please let it be against Spurs, just not this weekend.
I hope, yeah. But I'm saying that they could have that, and then it's all of a sudden in jeopardy. You know what I mean? So it's like that record will never be broken. Like that's just not happening. I'm telling you, it's not happening. They're not breaking that record.
And the fact that the only players that scored against Arsenal are Bosley, Holland, and Valdemar, just please let the next person be like Richie or Brenda.
Yeah, if Richarlison dunks on them, that would be the funniest thing.
Just this weekend, please.
I know, we'll talk about that next week for the North London derby.
Arsenal, please. I love gooning. I love Arsenal.
Sunderland.
No.
Black Cats up the Black Cats.
But I guess we'll wrap up the show. Looking forward to the upcoming weekend and obviously international break. So obviously looking forward to see, maybe Italy could destroy Norway.
I hope so. Look,
or Estonia love watch.
Oh no! We'll see what happens with Italy this international break. But yeah, look, it's another good show. Thanks for having me on 10. Obviously Spurs and Newcastle. I'm sure next week's will be interesting as well. So yeah, as always, big up for having me on. Everyone watching on both channels, subscribe to both if you haven't already. Where is it? There and there. Yeah, subscribe to both if you haven't already. Like both streams. And yeah, as always, big up the chat, big up everyone for watching. And we will be back very soon as well.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe we can make an announcement on Charlie's birthday, the 5th of December. Planning to do a World Cup draw. When they assign the teams to different groups and all. Not sure if Italy will be a part of it, but to be fair,
we bet
Romania will be in it as well. So, but at least both Italy and Romania are in the playoff. It could be. There's a potential. It could actually be Italy, Romania in the same path.
Yep.
But we'll see when it.
Yeah.
When it comes, but
that's a whole nother conversation about Italy and World Cup playoffs. That's a whole nother show. I could dedicate a whole nother show to
that. But yeah, we're going to do like a live watch along of the draw, whatever. And actually, my most viewed YouTube stream video is a live draw of a tournament. So who knows? Maybe that helps. But we'll also be having, hopefully, not sure, maybe a couple people on for that show. So it'll be a little bit of a chill stream. I think it'll be just before. I think it'll actually be after the next Newcastle Spurs game. So
yeah, a couple of days after.
That's when we're doing 5 in a row against Spurs. At home. But at least you could do 5 in a row tomorrow on Saturday.
I hope so. I really hope so. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So big up to everyone, and hopefully everyone enjoyed the stream. Almost 2 hours, somewhat.
Yeah, long stream.
Yeah. And hopefully, please just not as bad as last weekend, please.
Hopefully we both win and Sunderland win as well.
No. I don't mind. Okay, if we lose, just let Arsenal win.
Nah, let Sunderland win.
I guess we'll end it here. So big up to everyone, and we'll see you after both of us have our tiers on both Monday and the Thursday shows.
Oh no.